Funding for this program is provided by Subaru. Just a friendly reminder that the road less traveled is probably not paved. Full-time all-wheel drive for full-time adventure. Subaru, proud sponsor of Globe Trekker.
Lakes, 5,000 glaciers, and the highest peak in North America. Moose, whales, wolves, and polar bears. Now that's the state of Alaska. The only trouble is I'm not sure where I am, either in Canada or Alaska. All I know is that I'm on the Yukon River, but I think I'm lost. Alaska is one of the last wildernesses on Earth. It's the largest state of the USA and has more miles of coastline than the other 49 states put together. America bought Alaska from the Russians in 1867 for 2 cents an acre. It's more than twice the size of Texas, but only 500,000 people live here. I'm starting my journey near the Canadian border. From there, I head south and then west through Prince William Sound to Homer. Then it's a bush plain to the Katmai National Park, and finally a long trek north to the Arctic Circle. Alaskans call their state the last frontier, and there is certainly nothing quite like it in America. If New York City had the same population density, there'd only be 16 people living there. The history of Alaska's economy has been one of boom and bust. First it was fur, then gold, followed by oil, and now, increasingly, tourism. Eagle is the prime example of a faded boom town. I've been looking all around Eagle for passport control, and I've finally tracked him down. He lives in this house here. I'm looking for passport control.
Oh, certainly.
Is that you?
That's me.
Oh, brilliant. Hi.
You're on board.
Just got in today from Canada on the canoe.
Oh, okay. Well, my office is right here.
Is that it?
This is my office.
Oh, right. Cool, you want to check my bags or anything?
Well, we better check and see your papers are in order here first.
Right.
And you're a citizen of where?
Great Britain. Cool, look at that.
Good grief.
Eagle was founded during the 1898 Klondike Gold Rush. By the turn of the century, the town had a population of 1,500. Nowadays, the gold is gone, and there is only 160 residents. This Athabascan Indian village was here long before the gold rushers brought the Europeans. In fact, Alaska has been inhabited by man longer than any other part of the Americas. The Athabascans are one of several ethnic groups who migrated from Asia over 30,000 years ago, when the Ice Age provided a land bridge between Siberia and Alaska. Oh, it's got bad breath, this one.
Okay, bring it right over here.
During the summer, they live mainly on salmon, which they catch in nets and fish wheels.
See if it's a shear here. I can't tell. These fish can get up to 110 pounds.
Salmon is not a luxury food here, it's an everyday meal. And because they catch too many to eat fresh, a lot of the fish is smoked.
50 or 55 pounds, that one.
So double that. Scarlett is not an Indian, but she sometimes helps out in return for fish to feed her sled dogs on.
All right. Hopefully these guys won't ever fall down.
In Alaska, you can still find old-timers scratching a living from mining and trapping. Al is one such character, with a recent run of luck.
I can show it to you.
Got it here. have a look at that. Ooh. God, it weighs a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It was heavy. How did you find that then?
Well, I was walking up the creek and I looked down on bedrock and it was just laying there, just like a marble in the playground.
What, just like that, just in the
Yeah.
ground or something?
Right, in a little pocket on bedrock.
So how much is this worth, do you think?
Oh, maybe $2,500.
Yeah? Well, thanks a lot. I'll see you later then. Scarlett and her husband Wayne built their house with a chainsaw and an axe, using logs dragged from the river. In the winter, they trap animals for fur and hunt moose. Did you hunt them all yourself?
Some came from a friend on the Bering Sea coast. Others Wayne trapped.
What do you do with them once they're like this? What happens to them?
Several things. Wayne will, if it's a good fur, he'll do a mount with it. Otherwise, I'll take, such as this piece here, and cut him up and make hats.
Right.
And a lot of the beavers are used for mittens.
Is this beaver?
That is a beaver.
Right.
This is our refrigerator. And in the wintertime, it's a lot simpler, but in the summertime, we have a couple of insulated lids.
Oh, right. Cool. It's quite cold.
Gotta get down in there and open it up.
So what keeps it cold then, if it's not?
The ground here is frozen down so many feet.
Oh, right.
So throughout the summer, it keeps it cold.
Ah, cool, yeah, it is cold, isn't it? So living out here, you must have a good bear story for me.
Oh, you want a bear story?
I want a bear story.
Okay, a bear story. Okay, it was a couple of years ago. Actually, our son was only, he was what, 3 months old? Mm-hmm. And Wayne wanted to take me camping, and I'm terrified of bears. And we had gone out, and we were camping, and about 6 o'clock that morning, our lead dog, who was then just a puppy, just started barking.
The bear story had shaken me a bit, but anyway, it was time to be moving on. This is a gold town. It's called Chicken. Don't ask me why, but it just is. Anyway, I've ordered a taxi from the bar, and I'm going to meet the driver. Alaska is almost 600,000 square miles, but has only 5,000 miles of road. It explains why so many people fly like aircraft, although few are as old as Greg's T-Craft, made from wood and fabric. I found out why Chicken was called Chicken. When it was founded at the turn of the century, the miners wanted to call it Patagoman after the state bird, but none of them could spell it, so they settled on Chicken. Bars are open from 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. 7 days a week in Alaska, and this one in Chicken seemed to be doing a roaring trade.
There is something awfully virile about an Alaskan man. I mean, especially when they're even out here just for the summer, even if they're really from California, and they're only here from the summer. For the summer, it's, they do look good.
Now that I'd seen the Alaskan male at play, it was time to see him at work. Gary and his mates were in Alaska diving for gold. They'll stay here until the first snows in September, then move on to trapping or hunting.
$2.
So who's coming diving with me today then?
I'll go.
Yeah?
That guy was gonna.
Yeah?
You're gonna get the fever, man. You're gonna get
Yeah.
down there and you're gonna see that stuff, and you're just gonna, you get the sickness.
You hate when somebody pushes you around when you're doing that. You gotta put a lifeline on this guy. He's gonna be downriver, man.
I'd love to help you, but there's only 2 oars. People have been searching for gold in the 40 Mile River since the last century. These days, they vacuum the river bed, which is a lot more efficient than panning.
Not too bad for a day's work, eh?
That's not today, is it?
You can't even see what you're doing down there.
How long did it take you to get all this?
Oh, this is just something we got left over. There's probably a couple ounces in there. $700-800 there, maybe.
It really is the last frontier. I think that you really haven't been to Alaska till you've been to Chicken, the original Chicken. I've been to different parts of Alaska, and I think that you can experience Alaska there, but there's something about Chicken. I don't know if it's in the water, but there's definitely something about Chicken.
Buying gold today there, mister?
Always. How much you got?
I got 5 ounces. No, 2 ounces.
2 ounces. Well, let's see if you're telling the truth or not. Looks like 2 ounces right on the money.
No way.
That's what it's about. $520 or so dollars.
After a while, you know, dealing.
But we don't have a telephone here, so we can't really check the price of gold. But the last time I heard, that'd make it worth about $520. That's about $70. Yeah.
That's pretty
How many beers is that?
That's a lot.
So you're going to get some beers for this then? You're going to get them in?
Hope so.
I know these guys don't usually drink, so this is a one-off just for me. Shall we have an odd drink?
See you later, birthday boy. Happy birthday.
Alright. You guys have a good one.
See you later. Bye.
I've got it all in here. God. Oh, get it! No way! Thanks a lot. I was heading 250 miles south to the twin towns of McCarthy and Kennecott. Like Chicken, they're grown up because of mining, but in this case they've been founded on copper rather than gold. This is the only way to get across the river, and you got 2 guys at the other end pulling, then it's luxury. Alaska's isolation makes it expensive, and the further you get away from it all, the more damaging it can be to your budget. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. I just got into town.
Hello.
Do you know if there's anywhere to stay in McCarthy?
Yes, there is. They have the Maud Johnson Hotel and the bunkhouse over there.
Oh, right. How much is the hotel?
The hotel is $105 a night, and the bunkhouse is $20 a night.
Let's go to the bunkhouse, I think.
Okay.
Hotel's too expensive for me. So what's going on in McCarthy then?
Oh, usually we just have a good time in McCarthy.
Yeah. I heard that there's, for one woman, there's 8 men in Alaska. Is that true?
Well, maybe in other parts of Alaska, McCarthy, that's not the fact.
No?
No, we have 5 women to every man here.
No.
Yeah, we do.
What's the attraction? Is it you?
It might be me.
Oh, these look good. Yeah, so try them out.
Try it out.
Oh, God, blimey. It's a bit hard, isn't it? Gary's wife, Betty, told me what used to happen in McCarthy when the Kennecott miners got their 2 days off a year.
There was a lady, the best prostitute in town was the McCarthy Rose. And to spend one evening with the McCarthy Rose was $20. The miners made $6 a day. So to come to town and spend one night with the best whore in town, they had to work almost a week.
The copper mines have closed down, and the McCarthy Rose is long gone, murdered in a bed by a client. But nowadays, there's still a surprising amount to do in a town of 16 or so inhabitants. Hello?
Hi there.
Ian.
Oh, I'm Bob Jacobs.
I'm looking for someone to take me on a glacier climb.
Glacier?
Glacier, yeah, glacier.
Oh, you mean a glacier?
Glacier?
Glaciers here in the States.
Yeah, but are they the same thing, them big blue...
Big frozen things,
Yeah,
yeah.
that you climb up.
Full of ice.
That's the one, yeah.
That's the one.
Do I need lots of equipment?
Yeah, we'll, to go climbing, ice climbing, we've got all that we supply here for you.
Right, great.
Boots, crampons, ice tools, ropes.
The Root Glacier in the Wrangell St Elias National Park is just 30 minutes drive from McCarthy. The park covers 14 million acres of wilderness and has over 100 glaciers, as well as the second and third highest peaks in North America. Okay.
You need to get up there all on your own. Try to take, yeah, good, good.
Oh, that's a bit dodgy.
Yeah. Yeah, smaller step, good. All right, good, 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 good. That's it. You're looking good. Remember that left foot.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it straight. Go ahead, just think about which shoe you're going to go off of.
Yeah. Knackered. Yeah.
Good. Good. Good.
I'm nearly there. The top of Mount McKinley. Well, maybe not McKinley, but almost as high. And just a step away. Oh. Oh. Yes! Yes! He made it! Yeah! Oh, I can hardly breathe. Oh. Yeah, man. The Root Glacier is just half an hour away from the ghost town of Kennecott. Alaska's a pretty wild place, and there's a lot of natural hazards that you've got to be aware of if you're a traveller. One, mosquitoes, and I've been bitten in places that you wouldn't believe. And two, more dangerous, are bears. There's hundreds of them out here, and that sign is no joke. Bob's colleague, Thea, had a few tips for me. So I know it's a boring question, but I have to ask, is there a lot of bear action around here?
Well, on this side of the river, we have black bears. On the other side, they're grizzly bears.
Yeah.
I saw one this morning when I was coming down. Yeah.
What was it, a grizzly?
No, little black bear. And we had one at the cabin last night. There's a friend of mine in McCarthy who's got a serious bear problem at the moment.
Yeah?
Yeah. It just comes around. The thing is, if you let them get comfortable around your house, then they just keep coming and then eventually they break in. People use plastic slugs from a shotgun, or you throw some firecrackers at them.
Yeah.
Or then, of course, bear spray is what everyone carries. The
bear spray?
Yeah, that's
What's that?
It's a cayenne pepper under high pressure.
Yeah.
So if you squirt it, it sprays about 30 feet. So if you actually had a bear coming at you, then you could spray that in its face, and it just like floods all of its mucous membrane so it can't see your ear. But I don't know, I've never used mine. I carry it all the time, but I've never actually used it.
From 1917, 800 men worked in Kennecott, mining the richest source of copper ever discovered. In 1938, Well copper prices collapsed. The mine owners cut their losses, abandoned the mine, and left with huge profits. The miners were thrown out of work, and Kennecott was doomed.
This was, at its time, was the most populated place in Alaska, and was definitely the most modern. They had heated sidewalks, central heating, hot water, every modern convenience you could think of, unlimited power.
Yeah.
I mean, today we don't have anywhere near what they had then. In this town, it was mostly people. Thanks.
There you go. Sorry.
It was mostly people who were the people in charge of the mine and their families, and they lived in this area. There's a schoolhouse down at the bottom there where all the children of the foremen and things, where they were educated. And then there's a hospital,
Yeah.
which was one of the, well, at the time it was the only modern hospital in Alaska.
One in 65 people in Alaska owns a plane. It's the best form of travel, but you've got to be careful. Pick a good pilot and don't overload it, because that's what happened to this one not more than half an hour ago. As I headed west towards Prince William Sound, the weather was closing in. Alaska's weather is extreme. T-shirt weather can quickly change into days of fog and drizzle. Even in summer, the waters of Prince William Sound are filled with icebergs. These are chunks from the giant Columbia Glacier, which covers an area bigger than Los Angeles. Ice weighing as much as 10 million tons breaks off every day. Ferries are forced to keep a distance of 3.5 miles from the glacier face. There is no road out of Whittier. To get to Seward, cars have to go on the train. In South Alaska, there are 1,400 miles of ferry routes known as marine highways, and Seward is the departure point for trips into the Kenai Fields National Park. These fields are some of the best places to find marine wildlife in the whole of Alaska.
That's the bull moose right there, and he's talking to the other young ones.
What's the breath smell like?
Salmon.
Salmon.
It's really nasty.
Kiss one then.
Please.
Prince William Sound hit the world's headlines in 1989 when the oil tanker Exxon Valdez hit a reef and dumped 11 million gallons of crude oil into the water. Alaska's fields are popular for blue water or sea kayaking. How long would you last if you fell in the water?
Probably have good functioning for about 3 minutes, and after 5 minutes you start to lose some of your dexterity, some of your strength.
Yeah.
and after 10 minutes, your body core temperature would be dropped too low to survive much longer.
But it takes
There's so much ice in the water here that the temperature of water is just over 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The other thing we don't want to do is come up too close to these glaciers that are calving. About a quarter of a mile is a safe distance away. Last summer, somebody got crushed by a piece of falling ice.
What, in a kayak? Every spring, in these same waters, Eskimos would hunt and kill 60-ton whales in similar kayaks, using nothing but jade-tipped spears. For $20 a night, you can rent a cabin in the Kenai Fjords National Park. The only way to get there is by sea, because there ain't no roads going this way. But the best thing about it, it's dry inside. Well, this is it. Home for a night. It's pretty basic, but then again, there's no point in having too much. You have to bring all your own gear. Oh, bit rough. I think you have to bring your own fuel as well if you want to start a fire to keep warm and for cooking. You can stay up to about 3 days in places like this. And there's even the records book. Let's have a quick look at that. See who was last here? There we are. John Malkidge from Canada. We were staying here, a bear smashed through the door and... Oh. I'm sure it's not that bad. Oh, time bear. Alaska is the richest salmon fishing area in the world. The season runs from June to August, and a license can be obtained from fishing shops. You can also try and catch the massive king salmon, for which the Alaskan sporting record is over 97 pounds. The Kenai is the most fished river in Alaska. Every summer, thousands of anglers arrive to catch salmon on their way upriver to spawn. It can get so crowded on the riverbank that some people call it combat fishing.
Yeah, he took that.
Right in the chops.
One about this big got away. About that, no, I think it was about that big. And I was fighting with it for about an hour. Giving it some. Ray came along with the net, just about getting it, he let it go. Couldn't believe it, that big. I think he was jealous, because I just came down a bit wet behind the ears and kicked his butt. Isn't that right, Ray?
Yes, it is.
He knows it. Let's talk fish, Ray.
Okay.
Let's not mess about, let's talk fish. So, what different types of salmon are we after?
Well, right now you're fishing for the red salmon, which is also known as the sockeye salmon. The king salmon, which is in here right now also, is called the Chinook. And then we'll have the pinks coming through.
Well, there you go. Come on! I'm going to psych the fish out. I didn't catch anything, but everyone else did. Luckily, it's an Alaskan tradition to cook the catch on the barbecue.
Them over there.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to. I'd be afraid of it getting around.
How do they take it out? You're not supposed to take meat out of another country, eh? How are they going to pass customs?
Well, this is meat that is imported into.
Alaska can seriously damage your wallet in more ways than one. You have to have the right kit, because in the interior, Fahrenheit temperatures range from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 60 in the winter. Next stop, Homer. It's known as the Acapulco of Alaska because of its natural beauty, warm climate, deep-sea fishing and booming tourist industry. It also has the second longest spit in the world. A couple of miles out of town, Seaside Farm operates a barter system where travellers can trade their labour for a bed and something to eat.
Is that just ordinary milk?
His mom abandoned him, so now he comes. Oh, look.
Finding work that is well paid in Alaska can be difficult. Tales of astronomical wages on fishing boats are exaggerated, and it is easy to end up working for very little in salmon canneries. Most Alaskans come from the lower 48, Alaskan slang for the rest of North America. The state is full of people like Gregor, now a canoe builder, who came to visit and ended up staying.
This is a traditional Aleut-style bedarka. Bedarka is the Russian word for the style of boat that the Aleuts have built here for several thousand years.
Is that like a kayak?
It is a kayak. I built this out of wood from here on the Kenai Peninsula, and these are the carving tools that I use. Shape each piece.
So how did you get into this?
I was taught by a native man who sent me on a journey. He told me that I would meet many people and that they would all teach me something that was valuable in the kayak building process.
So where did you get the design for these kayaks?
I've studied in books, I've looked at kayaks in museums, and I've stared at old photographs that we've dug up from many archives.
And what kind of design is this one on the ceiling?
This is a West Greenland style kayak.
Right. And how much would one like this cost?
Oh, about $2,500.
$2,500?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I'll have to save up. Right, thanks a lot.
Good to meet you.
When the sun finally arrived in Homer, I realised why people rave about the place. Homer is a good place to pick up a sky trek, an aerial sightseeing tour. In many cases, it is the only way to get to the 40% of Alaska that consists of protected national parks and wildlife reserves. Laurie is a commercial bush pilot who takes up to 3 people on sky treks, lasting from 2 to 10 days. At $500 per person per day, it's not for those on a limited budget. Can I try?
You bet. Put your feet on the pedals. This is the ailerons, which controls the radius of turn of the roll axis.
Yeah.
And then forward is down, backwards is up. And you want to make real gradual corrections.
Right, okay.
Otherwise you make the passengers sick.
You're not even watching, are you? I could go anywhere.
Oh, I can tell where we're going.
I could do a loop and you wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't know. You don't want to go, you're good to go.
Oh, was I going all then?
Well, yeah.
The Katmai National Park is a 2-hour flight due west from Homer. We were on a glacier-fed lake, but I couldn't resist the chance of possibly being the first person on Earth to swim here.
It's closer that way.
Yes! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yes! It's warm! It's warm!
The Katmai National Park covers nearly 4 million acres, ranging from glaciated volcanoes to island-studded lakes and a coastline of bays, fjords and beaches.
And then there's lots of bears in this area. Yeah.
What sort of bears? Brown bears?
Brown grizzly bears.
Grizzly bears?
Yeah. Alaskan brown bears.
Yeah. Have you got any bear tips? The Katmai is home to more than 30 species of mammals, including moose, sea lions, Arctic foxes and wolves, and, of course, bears.
There's some right there.
Is that where the bear goes?
You bet.
At the McNeil River Falls in July and August, up to 20 brown bears can be seen gorging themselves on the salmon run. If you are in Alaska and come face to face with a bear, there are do's and don'ts. Don't run, because bears can run faster than us. Back up slowly and talk to it. If it charges, there's a good chance that it will be bluffing. If it is going to attack, drop to the ground in the fetal position. Put your hands behind your head and hope for the best. "15,000 years ago, all of Alaska was covered in an ice sheet, 1,000 feet thick. As the sheet retreated at the end of the last ice age, it left a landscape of 3 million lakes. Lake Clark is rarely visited by anyone, and the small islands that dot the surface are uninhabited. What makes a good bush pilot?
Judgment, having good judgment, being able to know your limitations and not go beyond that. Because the weather in Alaska can change in 10 minutes and you can find yourself caught out in it, and you have to react, you have to be able to make the right decision. And always leave yourself some outs.
Yeah. Say the engine just like conked out now. Who would know?
Well, we're on a
hit?
flight plan, so at 7 o'clock tonight, if we don't show up, they'll start looking for us within 45 minutes.
Yeah?
And they'll come along our route of flight and they'll find us.
How will they know our route of flight then?
Because we told them.
I mean, it can be stormy, but they get a lot
You
of
can get a
people
float plane to drop you off at a good camping and hiking spot and arrange a pickup a few days later.
days and days.
final leg of my journey was taking me a long way north, by train and road up to the Arctic Circle. There is only one rail journey to be had in Alaska, from Seward in the south to Fairbanks in the interior. Stretching some 470 miles, the track took 8 years to build, but is one of the most scenic railway journeys in the world. From Fairbanks, it is a long haul up the dirt track that calls itself the Dalton Highway to the Arctic Circle. This is the Alaskan pipeline. Every day, it pumps over 1 million barrels of oil from the north of Alaska to Valdez in the south, travelling almost 800 miles. Well, I've just passed the Arctic Circle, and here I am. Feels a bit strange, actually, because it's 10:30 at night, and it's still 90 degrees, and the sun's high in the sky. There's certainly a change in vegetation. There's less trees and more tundra now. Anyway, I'm off to a place called Coldfoot, and I can't be late because there's some mosquitoes waiting for me. It's about 12:30 at night, and it's still daylight. And there's a moose. Coldfoot is just trucks and temporary buildings. It is not a place to linger in, unless you want to have a drink in the northernmost bar in the US of A. North of the circle, in the winter, the sun never rises. In the summer, it never sets. But it's a lonely, deserted place on top of the world, no matter when you're here. Alaska is one of the last wildernesses on Earth. And what I really like about it is there's hardly any crowds, and you can really get away from what we call civilization. Also, when you do meet people, they're hospitable and welcoming towards travelers. And I, for one, will certainly be back.
Funding for this program is provided by Subaru. Oh yeah, like a vehicle without all-wheel drive was going to sponsor this show. Subaru, proud and logical sponsor of Globe Trekker.
You can find out more about this series on our website, keyword Globetrekker. Programs from the Globetrekker series are available on video cassette, and selected titles with extra features on DVD. Music from the series is available on 2 CDs. You can also order the companion book, Great Festivals of the World, which features celebrations that appear in the series. To order Globetrekker products, call 888-565-0361 or visit www.globetrekkertv.com.